This is my favorite tool in the workshop, my go-kart belt grinder. I built this back in 2018 to be a hogger, something I can just drive metal in and hog away, and to take the place of a milling machine on some operations. I wanted to build something robust, strong, rigid, and powerful, and I did it. And this, by far, is one of my favorite machines in the entire workshop. There's not one day that goes by that this machine isn't being used. But today is gonna be really cool because I wanna take this 5 horsepower motor that I originally built this thing with because I had it laying around, and we're gonna swap it for 10. That's right, we're gonna give it 5 more horsepower, and we're gonna see the difference between how it performed before and how it performs with 5 more horsepower. Now you're probably asking yourself, Jason, why do you need 10 horsepower? And the simple answer is
6.8 amps.
You gotta have more power. But to be serious, this has a huge platen. So when you put something large up against it, maybe you're trying to grind like a manifold flange or a big large surface area, that's where I can tell that this thing kind of struggles a little bit, which then puts a lot of drag on the motor because you're trying to grind a large surface. So that means you need torque. So that's my spiel. Hopefully you guys join me along as we try to modify this machine and make it even better. All right, let's get the old motor off. I'm gonna show you what we got. The first thing you're gonna notice is we got a big size difference. And the frame of this motor and this motor are not the same. And if you look at the original mount that this motor sits on, this big baby isn't gonna fit on there. In fact, I don't even wanna try to lift it. I just know it's not gonna fit. The other thing you're gonna notice, a center line issue. So this motor center line and this motor center line are different, of about 3/4 of an inch or about 19 millimeters. All right, let me show you how this thing works. So as you push down on this lever, the motor mount lifts. This is what slacks the belt and allows you to pull it off. This works real simple by a set of pins on a hinge in the back. So all this does is tilt up and down. Now to track the belt, this knob tilts this top plate from this one with this lever. So as you twist, this plate tilts up and down, which tilts the wheel forward and backwards. And then the belt goes left and right, but it does it really slickly. It has a, what you call a flexure. It's just a piece of bar stock, and this is just like a leaf spring. But we need to duplicate this because I know that big motor does not sit on top of that. So that's gonna be a problem, so we're gonna need to make a new one. I've been wanting to switch motors for a while, so I've already upgraded the VFD to a 10 horsepower in preparation for this. So basically the only thing to get this thing running is just to change the base plate, and then we can do a test. What I'd like to do is mimic the same test we did before. Run a 1/2 inch rod in 1 minute and see how much material gets removed in that time frame. So, and then we can compare, did we make a difference or not? So it's as simple as that. Build montage of this base plate in 3, 2, 1, go.
We are making the same motor plate, but bigger. This makes it a little hard because the middle of the 10 horsepower motor is in a different spot. It might be tricky to make it fit on the grinder we have now, but we can still do it. Let's see how this motor plate turns out.
So you see how this works? This part was relieved because the motor's heavier and this base plate's bigger, so we want to keep the weight approximately the same. This little cutout right here is for the shifter lifter to keep that cam that follows this and pushes it at the right elevation. And then this is for the spring that goes underneath that provides a little extra tension, kind of like a shock. We can calibrate how much belt tension is with the spring. Our flexure is all done and fabbed up, slobbered some black paint on it. Maybe a later date I might powder coat it to match when I take another good batch down there. But this is our new extension for our shaft because we needed something longer. So it's just a 2-piece design. It just clamshells and grips on there. And then our go-kart hub fits on there like this, and this is how we can set our endo to get our wheels lined up. And then this clamshells grips on here. This is a good feature because if the wheel were ever to grab or something, this is gonna slip. So we kind of want something built into this to where we don't catastrophically damage something. This is gonna slip before something really goes to heck. So that's how this all works. We're gonna slap it together, put the motor on there, and hopefully get this thing all dialed in, and then we'll be able to turn it on.
I want to have the motor plate powder coated like the original, but I'm going to wait until I have more parts ready to reach that point. Taking the motor off later for powder coating won't be a hassle. It will only take a few seconds. For now, I really want to test the new motor and make sure it works.
All right, we finally got it all together. Let's throw a belt on here and let's do some testing. The belt that I'm gonna use is a Cubitron 2. This is pretty fancy. This is my first time ever using a Cubitron belt. So in case you've never seen this before, this is how the belt goes on. It just slips on from the side, and the wheel is slacked with the shifter lifter, and we just lower it down just like that. Push up, motor comes up, got slack, go down, Now the weight of the motor and that spring down there is putting tension on the belt, and that's it. So the idea of having this motor float is so that when these tires expand and contract with speed, that the belt doesn't get tighter or looser. So a lot of you guys ask, what happens if the tires go flat? And the simple answer to that is absolutely nothing. We run the tires flat, we don't put air in them. Just when they start to spin really fast, they just kind of expand naturally. So we really don't need any air to do any of that. Tires have a natural crown in it, so the belt centers, it's actually like they were made for this. It works really well. So let's turn it on. We got everything wired up. See, we're tracking a little bit weird, so I can loosen this. All right, seems to run pretty good. I like the belt running right to the edge of this platen so I can grind a sharp angle, so it's tracking pretty good. And the VFD allows me to change the speed. So at 60 Hertz on here, we're running pretty fast, but I think we can go all the way up to 70 or even 80 and get some serious belt speed out of this. So what I'd like to do is some tests to see if going from 5 horsepower to 10 made an improvement. Now this is the Fireball grinder test. Everybody says my grinder can hog, but without some data, we really don't know that. This is a 1/2 inch rod. I have it labeled by 1/4 inch increments, and we're gonna see how much of this rod we can grind away in 1 minute. Okay, that's gonna be our benchmark. Previously, we did 10.5 inches. I don't think the extra horsepower is gonna make that big of a difference on such a small surface area as this. I think that's gonna have more to do with the belt quality, but we're gonna run that test anyway. And then we'll go into grinding maybe the edge of this block right here, seeing how quickly I can square that up, and then we'll have some fun. Maybe we'll grind some of these into nothing and we'll see how long it takes. I think that'll be interesting. We got some cast iron, we got some tool steel, and we have some hardened steel with this ball right here for no other reason than we're having fun and experimenting with our newfound horsepower. So let's do it. Let's start with the rod test first. My rod is 28 inches, just in case we go past our 1/4 inch marks. But the last 1/4 inch mark there is 16. So we're gonna start with 28 and then we're gonna subtract whatever we grind. Turn the machine on, start the clock. When this hits 10 seconds, we grind.
In our previous test, this round bar stock ended up grinding at 10.5 inches per minute with the old 5 horsepowered motor. Let's see how it will do with 10 horsepower.
Here we go. What do I got left? Let's say the least. A little at an angle, 6 1/4, right? So we ground down. We started at what, 28? So we ground 21 3/4 of an inch. We almost doubled the performance. I think it's a combination of both, horsepower and belt. I'd like to see another grinder do that. 21 3/4 inches per minute. If you're impressed, tell me in the comments. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So for the next test, let's grind this thing. A 1-inch drill bit, high-speed steel. Anybody that's ever tried to grind a drill bit down knows how incredibly tough high-speed steel is. So this is gonna be a pretty fun experiment. Okay, here we go. That's mighty impressive to grind that high-speed steel down that fast like that. Less than a minute? I don't know. Good stuff. Okay, for the next test, what about a C-clamp? How long is it gonna take to do that? Let's find out. That's pretty serious. It was just kind of hard to hang on to, but that took what, a minute and a half? What about something with some surface area like this ball hitch? How long? Let's find out. You okay? Did it get you?
Yeah, I'm good.
That's what I was afraid of. I pushed it pretty hard, but not stalling the belt. Pretty good. I think we might have damaged when we did the C-clamp. I say we keep going. New belt, ready to rock and roll. We're gonna pick up where our time left off. It's already getting hot. So we're gonna go till I can't hang on to it anymore. All right, here we go. There you go. Okay, that's all I got left. The time on that was crazy. Who would ever do this kind of thing? I don't know. We're doing it for fun. It's what you do with new toys. You play with them, right? So for a practical test, you see how this tube didn't get cut square? To get this tube to get squared up, yes, I could take another pass on the bandsaw, but maybe it just might be faster to just straighten it up on the grinder. And that's where the horsepower and that big platen is really gonna make this quick and fast. Here we go, last test. How long does it take to square up? Done. So I have to come over here anyway, probably just to make a chamfer. So I might as well just square something on the grinder. So thank you guys for joining me. I know you guys like this machine as much as I do. It's my favorite tool in the workshop. If you guys like more of this grinding fun stuff, let me know down below, and I'll see you guys on the next one.